Hi, this is Lee Vance at Lowville Presbyterian Church, and the spiritual offering for this week comes from part of the work that I do, but I think is very applicable to our spiritual lives. I know that it is to mine, and that is communication. Wanting communication basically to be that which will enrich relationships and respect the needs and values of each individual is a part of my spiritual practice. Practice meaning that I don't always successfully do it, um, um, it- um, but doing that in a nonviolent manner brought me to nonviolent communication, developed by Marshall Rosenberg and further developed along with mindfulness by Oren J. Sofer. The tenets of nonviolent communication are essentially that everything that we do as human beings is related to our needs. Every action that we take as a human being is based on trying to get our own needs and desires met. And so if we come to it from that perspective, we can begin to take responsibility for our needs and allow others to be responsible for their needs. We cannot control other people, or in other words, we cannot make another human being do anything. We can influence them, and as soon as we begin to influence them in one way or another, we can begin to do violence. Not just, especially just not physical violence, which is obvious in many forms, but emotional, psychological, spiritual violence. And so the way to avoid doing that, the nonviolent communication process asks us to first be able to articulate what we observe happening within any given interaction. My neighbors are playing really loud music. In this case, my neighbors would be the First Presbyterian Church. This has never happened, but if the music was being played way too loud, that would be my observation of what's happening. All right, the music is really loud, and I can hear it. It's rumbling my house. It's shaking the house, and everyone in my home can hear it and is agitated by it. That's the second level of nonviolent communication. That is, what's the feeling in relation to what's being observed. So this loud music that I'm observing brings up the feeling of agitation and anger, and maybe a little bit of fear of where is this going to go? How loud is it going to get? How long is it going to go on? How much more of my evening will it disturb? There's a third part of nonviolent communication, and that is, what are my needs and values and desires? My need in this situation is to have peace in my house, that there is no external forces that are disrupting as much of a peaceful process as I can experience with myself and my family. So that's my need, is to have peace. And now that I know my need is to have peace, I can begin to come up with concrete actions to address that. I can begin to think of it in terms of what my own family can do. Maybe we can go out for the evening and get ice cream and take a break and see if the music's still going when we come back. Maybe we can all put earphones in. If I want to communicate directly with others, then I'm really looking at requests. And requests do take vulnerability. There's no way around that. So that's not a demand for the music to be turned down by First Presbyterian Church. It's a request. I really want to experience continued peace this evening, and the music that I hear is really agitating me and my family, and it's it is keeping us from continuing to experience calmness and peace in our home. And I would request that you help me meet that need by turning the music down. Would you be willing to do that? So it's a process to be practiced, and it's one to think on. I'd encourage everyone to check out Marshall Rosenberg's Nonviolent Communication, so we can. It's just one way for us to continue to reach and stretch ourselves for a more peaceful world. Take care.